Welcome back to another episode of Chair Shots and Chit Chats, where we talk everything WWE with your host, CE, and your co-host, Paco. We have a lot to talk about because we've missed a couple of weeks.
Gosh, it has been a while.
It has been a while.
3 weeks?
We've both been going through our personal stuff, so it's inevitable until we find a different host that we're going to be doing.
I need a co-host. So if you know anybody.
If you're in the Houston area, like WWE, like wrestling, hit us up, put your name in the comments, and we'll reach out to you. What are we talking about today?
So much has happened over the last 2-3 weeks. I've watched a lot of,
I was so upset because I was watching, I think it was Raw last week, or maybe it was yesterday. And I haven't watched it in so long because I've just been so busy with my stuff. And I saw that Seth Rollins inducted somebody who wasn't my pick into his group.
Bronson Reed.
But I was not upset.
No.
I was upset at the fact that it wasn't who I wanted it to be. But this makes more sense.
I was kind of pissed. I got upset because Karrion Kross could have been in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so over right now. The fans want him. And then it's just, we're just not going to put him on TV now.
I don't get it. I kind of feel bad for Karrion Kross for that specific reason.
Because he's been revamped 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. But let's set some structure to this podcast.
Yeah.
What is the main thing that you want to talk about today?
Oof. There's so much. Let's talk about the dislikes over the last 2 weeks.
The dislikes.
So what
of the company as a whole? or
we can go into that. No. So over the last 2 weeks, some questionable things have happened in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And, they say, oh, it's just a work. Oh, this, And, one of the things I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which I'm there for it because R-Truth is...
Did you watch Raw yesterday?
I watched bits and pieces.
Okay. Did you watch the Raw segment of R-Truth?
He cut his dreads.
R-Truth is making the best comeback that I've seen out of anybody that's gotten released. Don't let the company tell you this is a work. Don't let the company tell you that they planned this all out. They let him go, and they noticed they fucked up. And I don't use the F word very much, but they royally fucked up in releasing him. Him being
they wouldn't even allow, earlier in the day, last Monday, Rhea Ripley was wearing an R-Truth shirt.
Yeah.
Anybody that was wearing R-Truth gear had to take it off before the show. But, so, what a lot of people don't understand is, it came out, it was our Triple H's decision. No, it wasn't.
TKO.
It was Nick Khan's decision. Because they merged within the last year, and they're trying to... I don't know what they're trying to do.
And I think that's the frustration. That there's no clear direction on what it is they're trying to do. But everything that they do kind of set in place.
That's I read something. So Roman right now as a part-timer is making $15 million a year.
Yeah. They're trying to renegotiate his contract.
They're either going to renegotiate him or not re-sign him. Which that would be stupid.
That would be... Imagine if AEW... signs on the same capacity.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
I don't know if that would... They would have to use him right. There would be some, he would be the biggest star that company's ever seen.
100%. But that
outside of Punk.
For more reason. They can't just release him.
No.
They have to come to terms with the fact that they're gonna have to start paying him what he's worth, and
well, the thing is, he shouldn't be making $15 million a year for part-time.
how much was Brock Lesnar making?
Probably more, a little bit more.
All right.
But that's one of the reasons why Brock's not back.
Yeah, but so look, the era of working 365 days a year is over.
You can't say that in wrestling. You cannot.
Well, Dev said it. Triple H has said it. Triple H has talked about how when he was wrestling, he would work, was it 360 days a year?
Yeah. No, they're getting more time off, and I agree with that.
And look at what happened yesterday with Jey Uso.
I thought that was stupid. We'll get to that.
I agree with that as well, but we're talking about things we don't agree with, right?
So let's talk about that. While we're talking about that, did it mean anything? The Royal Rumble win didn't main event WrestleMania. Then you lose the title after 50 days?
You think he was really injured?
Who?
Jey Uso? But
I mean,
maybe not his ribs, right? But do you think something about him was injured that he needed some time off?
He might need some time off. He's been working over the last.
Yeah, he's been a workhorse for
2 years.
Yes. So there's no doubt about that.
But 51 days on
and that's like
on a not even a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, it's, and you get back to the point of things that the company is doing that's frustrating, and you want to say that we donned it the Triple H era, right?
Well,
the NXT era, the
I don't
whatever
think
you want
it's
to call
him,
it,
though.
and that's a problem. That now you have this era, this movement that's attached to his name after Vince McMahon has now parted ways with the company.
Yeah.
And everything is Triple H, Triple H, Triple H. And now you're starting to notice that they're doing things with the face of Triple H, with the brains of TKO.
So, I figured out what the releases were, or what they are, or what they're going to be going forward.
Okay.
They're not wanting to pay. They want to make money, but they don't want to pay money.
I saw something. I don't know how true this is or not. Is TKO a public company? Do you know?
No, it's not.
Okay, that's probably why there's no public information about that. But I saw something that said that TKO is $200 billion in debt.
Okay, I've read that too.
Yeah.
But TKO picked up WWE, and then they picked up. No. This is after, they paid back all the debt from UFC.
Okay.
And then they acquired all this debt when they picked up. It wasn't WWE's fault, but they're gonna make all that money back. So don't fret about debt. Business debt and personal debt, completely two different things.
100%.
So when you hear, that's like, I read something, Vince McMahon's trying to buy back the company. If he was trying to buy back the company, he wouldn't have just sold more shares of the company.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I get back to, wrestling fans are the worst fans in the world.
Why do you say that?
Because, okay, so they want someone as champion so bad, then they become champion. Oh, that's not what we wanted. You know what I mean? Or
they're hypocrites.
Yes, exactly.
Does that make you a hypocrite too?
Yeah, kind of.
As long as we're being self-aware of who we are and what we are.
I didn't think Jey Uso was going to be like the greatest champion. But at some point you have to reward some of your top stars. And Jey Uso's been that with the Blood. That title reign was his culmination with the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
That was the thanks for going through all that with Roman, and then, the singles run, all that stuff. I don't agree with Naomi being women's Money in the Bank.
Which is giving more credence to the theory or the what's it called, when something is like the JFK murders conspiracy. Thank you. The conspiracy that The Rock is pushing all of his family.
No. TKO and The Rock are at odds right now.
Are they?
Something happened. I don't know. I don't have the full details.
Okay.
TKO and The Rock are at odds right now.
I did not know that.
And then to have The Rock announce WrestleMania 42 for New Orleans and then renege and say, hey, we're going back to Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. They're getting a lot of negative feedback right now.
Why do you think that is? Because I hear the same thing over and over again.
I don't know. I don't know why they just, like, they gave New Orleans the consolation prize of Money in the Bank next year. But they had already announced it on live TV. They had The Rock make the big announcement.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. The things that I've heard is that you can charge a lot more for a ticket in Vegas than you can charge for a ticket in New Orleans.
Oh, I don't know.
And you have the profitability of an event in Vegas is a lot higher than it is in New Orleans. Because the event is not just the WrestleMania. It's the WrestleMania week.
Well, yeah.
So that's what I've heard.
Well, the thing is, I mean, they weren't really that profitable. They were having problems selling tickets in Vegas. All the companies were.
Really?
WWE didn't sell out. I don't care what they say. They didn't sell out.
Well, they said they did sell out.
No. They try to inflate. They try to inflate numbers.
Yeah. But the tickets themselves?
Or they gave tickets away. Because companies will do that.
Yeah.
Or they'll upgrade. Like, the reason why you don't see empty seats on TV is because they upgrade people.
Okay.
Right now, the best way to get wrestling tickets is the day of.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
you're going to get the best tickets at the cheapest price.
Yeah. So, the day of WrestleMania, someone spent like $300 on nosebleeds or whatever. Really? And they only had to pay $200 more to upgrade to floor seats. Or something like that.
Okay.
They're getting rid of the casual wrestling fan at this point. Because tickets are so expensive now.
And isn't that sad?
Because Raw is coming to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I've never spent more than $150 on tickets.
How much are they now?
I mean, for good seats, it's like $478.
$478?
Yes, for one ticket.
Gee.
If you're sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Used to you used to be able to get floor seats for like $250 at a Raw.
Yeah.
This goes back to Netflix. This goes back to TKO. And I'm thinking this merger was terrible at this point. Unless they're still trying to get their footing.
Merger between TKO and WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know, man.
It takes a while. So how do you measure success?
I wish they would release their
It's they're a private company.
I know that's what yeah.
After the Vince thing, they went private.
Makes sense.
Because so you don't know what they're earning. You don't know what's going on. I mean, what other? I mean, I didn't agree with Jay losing his title. I didn't agree with Naomi. I mean, I would have had. I mean, Rhea didn't need it either.
Look, we had predicted that Stephanie Vaquer was going to win, and that's who
I really thought she was going to win.
That's who I really wanted to win.
I really thought but Roxanne Perez, they're putting on good quality matches.
Yes, they are. Like even yesterday, when she won the qualifying match.
Oh, Roxanne Perez.
And the storytelling in the matches
it's getting better.
It's getting so good.
It's just the wait time during the matches suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a
But you're talking about just the PLEs, or you're talking about the
all the above.
Raw too? Because I watched Raw yesterday.
It's not really Raw. It's the PLEs.
Okay.
For people that watch the pre-shows, you're basically going to see them during the show, so the pre-show is not needed. Everything they show in the vignettes on the pre-show, they show again during the PLE. So in a 2 hour, in a 2.5 hour, you're only getting an hour and a half of wrestling.
Yeah. Do you think part of that is to like rationalize like giving the fan like worth for the money, like the bang for the buck?
I don't know. Have you ever been to a live event?
Only once, but it wasn't like a televised event. So
I've been to WrestleMania.
Wow.
I've been to a Raw at the Toyota Center. I've been to a SmackDown at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. I mean, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Like, you know the difference between a live event and a house show.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you got cameras.
Yeah.
But now with Raw and Netflix, they got the little drones that go around the whole.
Yeah.
So that maybe they're spending more on equipment and they got to make that money back. I don't know. I'm hoping it evens out.
Unless it is that they're not as popular as they were thinking they were. They're pricing themselves out of, like you said, the casual fan, and you're not selling out all the tickets. Maybe you're selling some of them. Maybe you're selling most of them, but you're not selling all of them, and you're not making a profit on your investment.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that,
What could TKO do differently?
TKO.
Give us 3 things TKO can do differently.
Give me better stars.
Okay, better stars.
You have to start building your homegrown talent because a lot of your talent is pre-TKO. Start building your and that's what the NIL's for.
Mm-hmm.
But start building your stars, your homegrown TKO homegrown stars.
Well, what's the difference between that and NXT?
NXT is still WWE, right? NXT still falls under TKO. Everything that's going on right now has kind of been in motion for the last 2-3 years before TKO.
Yeah, but I mean, TKO and WWE are one and the same. So what
they're gonna have their differences, and I think they also might be trying to push Triple H out. I don't know.
Okay, that's great, but they're still going to keep the assets within that brand, which is going to be the NXT. So anything in NXT right now is going to happen. It's going to, when you say build their homegrown talent, I don't see what you're saying other than the NXT stars or the ones that they're calling out, like the Vaqueros, like the Braun Breaker. Like those are stars that they're building.
But it wasn't TKO though.
It doesn't matter. TK, look, you have to, like you said it yourself. They merged. They're one.
Yeah,
they're one and the same. So what is it? What's your idea of their homegrown talent? Like, what would be something that they would do differently than what's happening?
Did you watch? Have you ever watched AAA?
I saw the vignettes that did of what happened.
Hey.
Okay.
Some of those matches start getting like. We need more flavor. I'm not saying like homegrown talent, like more flavor. Like give me different styles of wrestling, not just big men, not just small men, not just medium men. You know what I mean? And Braun Breaker's like what? He's good size, but in order to make it, like wrestling needs to get back to wrestling, like.
Sounds like a secular definition.
Yeah, wrestling needs to get back to wrestling. Technique. I watched a lot of matches.
So you're talking about not like backstage politics or backstage.
The wrestling needs to get better. You know how many?
Well, we just did it. We just like, wrestling right now. When we talk about WWE, wrestling right now is way better than it was in the 2000s. Wrestling.
You see more botches now than you ever did.
I was watching a lot of botches yesterday.
It's terrible.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
So that we need to see better techniques.
So then how do you think they get better techniques? Because they're not going out to the indies.
More coaches. Better coaches.
Better coaches in the HBKs and Triple H's and the...
You have your head guy, which is HBK.
Okay.
But you need better, like, medium coaches. Like, instead of... I don't know how to, like... They need better road agents. They need to find better... Like, yes, you can be good on the mic, but are you good at wrestling? You're hired to wrestle, not talk on the mic. You know what I mean?
Okay. Better wrestling, homegrown talent. Even though I don't agree with homegrown talent because that doesn't make any sense to me. Homegrown talent. What's one more thing before we move on to the next segment?
If you don't agree with homegrown talent,
well, I don't have to agree there. You're
change.
Thing. Oh my gosh! You did not just say change. Of course, change is going to be one of the things.
No, make ticket prices affordable again.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I mean, I would love to be able to go to a Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber. Stop sending them overseas.
to Riyadh. But in their defense, I'm sure Riyadh is paying.
No, they are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying do it less.
Okay.
Instead of going, because they have the Royal Rumble's going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
You know, they're even doing Raw. You know, I don't care that they do it, but going like, they're already going to Australia for one. Mm-hmm. They're going to. You gotta. Yeah.
Great articulating of your points and thoughts. Yeah.
What about you?
I don't. Again, I haven't been watching it that long. I'm not as much of a diehard fan as you are.
So with homegrown talent, and what I mean by that is like you're gonna have your Triple H guys, and that's what a Braun Breaker is. You're gonna have your Shawn Michaels guys. You know what I mean?
Okay, so then at what point do they not become Triple H guys and
hey, we're gonna bring in this indie guy, and he's gonna be better than. And that's
so you're talking about, but then that's not even a TKO guy.
Well, no, it's not.
So you're talking about bringing somebody from the indies. Like let's say they bring MJF.
I would love to see that.
I completely agree. But MJF is not an indie guy, nor a WWE guy, nor a TKO guy. Now he's an AEW guy. And you know, just because he's an AEW guy, he's going to get buried.
I know. And that's why it's what happened with Sting when he came to WWE. That's what happened to Goldberg. That just happens.
So let's say they bring somebody authentically from the indies, like a CM Punk or like a Seth Rollins, somebody who developed their talents in the indies. Seth Rollins, before he was in NXT, he was an indie guy. Yeah. CM Punk was an indie guy.
Yeah.
So bring somebody from the indies.
We need to see. You want to know why some of these people come on and you don't know who they are.
But don't you think that wrestling right now is so saturated?
That's another thing. What's the word? Not overrated.
Not oversaturated?
It wasn't. There's another word for it, but yes. For the most part, oversaturation.
Okay.
Overexposure of just wrestling in general. WWE had. Look at WWE.
Make money.
I know. Okay. We had. What were we watching before Money in the Bank? 2 weeks ago, when we were here. It was a actual like big time event, and then 2 weeks later they had Saturday Night.
Okay, so we're talking about the actual PLEs that they're doing every weekend. Okay, I agree with that.
And then
it takes away from the spectacle that it is to see those events.
Yeah,
because they're happening every week.
Yeah, it's like every other week. But
yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, I mean that's all I have on that. Bring back Demon Finn Balor.
Okay, I agree.
Like, I want to see him make a run. Not just for the world title.
I think they're working towards building something there.
I'd like to see Dom versus... I think I'd like to see Dom versus...
Finn Balor?
Finn Balor.
It looks like they're building towards something there. Very, very slowly, but they're building towards Finn Balor betraying the Judgment Day and eventually going for the IC title.
So you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? So Jacob Fatu, he's only been in WWE for a year, right?
Yep.
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they've been hinting at breaking them up for longer than Jacobs. We got an I Hate You solo before we got a breakup of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
That is fun. I almost feel bad for Austin Theory.
Why?
I feel bad because, like, I put myself from an empathetic point of view. From a point of view of, I'm in his shoes. And to have this self-expectation of being one of the top talents in the company, getting pushed so hard that you're like, I can feel it, I can taste it, it's right there. And then going all the way back down to the bottom to be,
you know what?
It looks like just a jobber.
You know why he's suffering right now?
Why?
Because of the stuff that's going on with Vince.
And something that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but he was labeled as the guy. Vince labeled him.
Exactly. So and that's why I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't watch too much of him, but he wasn't bad.
No.
He was relatively good. And I say this after saying I don't want him to be in this faction with Seth Rollins, which I don't. I'm glad that they didn't do that.
They're gonna add another person.
Well, again, I hope it's not Austin Theory.
Well, here's my thing.
Well, what do you say? You think they're gonna add another person? Kind of just
there's like
finishing that up.
One more person.
Tell me why. Tell me why you feel that.
The group don't feel complete yet.
Ah, okay. So you feel like there might be, not that there will.
There might be one more person. And then they keep hinting at, who's going to be able to stop this group? Like they're going to build an anti-group to, like they did with Bloodline and Bloodline 2.0, and they're oversaturating the faction.
If there's going to be one more faction that comes into the WWE,
it's got to be a women. I want to see more women's factions. I
could care less.
And they wonder why, and people wonder why they think we're sexist.
No, but that has nothing to do because they're women. I could care less for one more faction except for one more, being Bullet Club. They have all the makings of
Well, you had it on the Indies. You've had it in other promotions.
In New Japan,
yeah. So I mean, why not?
Well, and so that's what I'm saying. And maybe it's an IP thing. It's an intellectual property that it doesn't belong to WWE. And they can't bring that. I mean, they have AJ Styles, who's on his way out. They have Finn Balor, who's itching to get away from the Judgment Day. Those two by itself.
Needs to be in another group. I don't think Finn Balor needs to be in another group right now.
And I agree with you. So, like, if there was one more group that I would want to see, it would be the Bullet Club. Okay. I agree with you when you say that he doesn't need to be in one. And it has nothing to do with me being sexist or me not liking girls. Because I think right now, the women's wrestling is better than the men's wrestling. Yeah. My opinion is
I've seen some really good matches out of the women lately.
Yeah. I mean, look at yesterday.
Did you see the Valkyria versus Becky Lynch match?
Look at that. Like
two. They've had two matches now.
I stand that, and if you don't agree with it, then you don't agree with it. But the women's wrestling right now is far superior than men's wrestling. But men's storylines are far superior than women's storylines. But that tells you a lot because that means that women can stand alone on the wrestling when the guys have to fall back to the storyline.
Yeah. But that also could be. So the women have different agents than the men. So whoever lays out the match, they have different people that do it. So it could be whoever's doing the women's, and it might be a group of women.
Yeah.
It could be one of those like, oh, this is what we should do. This isn't, they might have better head for the business than whoever's doing it
for the
guys.
Well, I mean,
because one of the road agents for the men is Jamie Noble.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just got to look at who's putting these matches together.
It just looks like they're focusing more on storylines
But they're about to have their second ever women's only pay-per-view next month. Yep. Evolution.
You think Becky Lynch?
So it looks like it's going to be Nikki Bella
and
Liv Morgan.
That's who. How's who's going to headline?
I don't know who's going to headline.
I hope they don't headline.
It won't be them two. Okay. That's why Nikki came back.
Yeah.
They're bringing. I hope they don't bring back Ronda Rousey because she can't wrestle for shit. Pardon my French. I'm trying to get.
Well, she can't. She is decent at doing the couple of moves that she does, but compared to the talent that we have in the WWE right now in the women's division, it doesn't compare.
No. She would have a bad match with anybody on the roster right now.
Unless they completely carry her.
Yeah.
Like Gunther did
Pat
McAfee.
Yeah. I mean the women's wrestling has come a long way in the past 25 years.
Yes. For the best.
Yeah, because we've had women main event at WrestleMania.
And it's not like it was forced. Like you wanted that to be the main event.
Yeah. Look at Tiffany time. Tiffany Stratton's really good. Yeah. She had a good match with Charlotte Flair. Mm-hmm. She had a good match with, and I cannot. I think I want this match to happen. Tiffany Stratton versus. She was just on SmackDown. Jesus.
You got this.
I can't think of her name.
What does she look like?
I just saw it.
She's the one with the long hair? The EST?
No. Bianca. I don't know what they're doing with Bianca. Bianca actually broke her hand. She hasn't wrestled.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, she's okay.
She broke her hand at WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
During that triple threat match. Mm-hmm. And she hasn't wrestled since.
Makes sense.
Has
Charlotte Flair been in the picture at all?
Yeah. Okay. Lost my train of thought there.
That's okay.
Jade Cargill needs some fine tuning. Mm-hmm. For as big as she is and as much power as she has, she can't wrestle.
Yeah.
That's coming from. She's always been a part of these smaller organizations or organizations that don't have the production value of WWE.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Do I think she would have been better if she went to NXT first? And I think that's why everybody that signs from AEW to NXT now, or to WWE now, goes to NXT first.
Just to fine-tune them before they go into the main roster.
Because they made the mistake with Jade Cargill.
Hey, it takes one to ruin it for everybody.
Exactly. And there's some good stars coming.
Yes.
Mariah May. Ricky. It's Ricky Saints now, but his name was Ricky Starks, but they changed it to Ricky Saints.
Oh, okay.
I think, I don't know what they're going to do for this women's pay-per-view. I want to see the finish to that Io Sky Stephanie Vaquer match. We didn't get a clean finish off of that because Julia and Roxanne Perez came in.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the top women wrestlers right now are girls that are women that just came from NXT.
Yeah. Yeah, at least as the ones that... Oh, no, all of them.
Stephanie Vaquer is better than most of the main roster.
Yeah, name anybody who didn't come from NXT.
I'm talking about, like, recently.
But name any one of those girls in the roster right now that didn't come from NXT.
Well, I think they all did.
Other than Natalia, but she's not really a...
Well, Naomi didn't either.
Okay, Naomi.
A lot of the women wrestlers you see now are coming from NXT. And we're starting to see... And that's the thing with these contracts. Mm-hmm. We go back to the contracts and the why people are getting released and re-signed different ways is because they're not worth their contract. They've been released because they give you 2 years to get to where you need to be to get main roster ready. That's what you go to NXT for.
Yeah.
And then within that 2 years, if you're not, they just release you.
Yeah.
And that's, or if they don't see a future of, hey, we don't have anything for you, like storyline wise.
Which makes sense.
I mean, that's what wrestling is. Mm-hmm. It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrestling business.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't... The mistake right now is Naomi. Out of the women.
Yeah.
Like, one of these is not like the other. Mm-hmm. And it's Naomi. Yeah. Because she's not a good wrestler. She's got speed. She can jump. I mean...
I don't really got much to say other than I agree with you.
Naomi is like... Compare Naomi to someone in the men's division. Who would it be?
The one-man band.
That's like, so, we talk about the women.
Which is not even there anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, none of them are.
Yeah, the...
Wade Barrett is.
No. What's his name? The Viking, what's his name? The
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, yeah.
Which they wrote him off TV. And that was a good cage match.
I don't understand wrestling sometimes.
I don't understand how you got all this good talent, but you put on such a crappy show.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I'm not saying wrestling isn't about gimmicks. It's about what you can do in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's going on, like you said, what's going on with the men. The storyline's there, but...
The women's have the ability to not only deliver amazing matches, but tell the story in the ring.
I don't know. Bayley's back.
Bayley's back, so who knows what they're going to do with that?
Oh, it looked like she beat...
It looks like she's going to... Look, do you really want to see another feud with her and Becky Lynch?
Yes.
I don't. I feel like the 4 horsewomen had the 5 years of just feuding with each other forever.
That's true.
I don't want to see that again.
I think it's just to get that title more prestige. I think that's all this is about.
The IC title.
The women's undercard.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. But then what happens to the...
It's going to even out eventually. And it might just be for this Evolution pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, I was talking to someone about Jey Uso losing the title in 51 days. Don't bring back Goldberg.
You think they're going to bring back Goldberg?
To fight Gunther at Saudi Arabia. Because the Middle East likes their nostalgia acts. Goldberg is a nostalgia act. But if we've learned anything, you saw the tag team match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction. It was terrible. So I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be...
If they do bring back Goldberg, do we really think he's going to win?
I mean, they had him beat The Fiend, and that was a mistake.
It's like I ask all these rhetorical questions that are supposed to be rhetorical because they're so absurd that it would be anything other than...
But they've done it before.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're in a different era. But, I mean, I do like what they're doing with the Wyatt Six now.
What did they do with the Wyatt Six?
They moved them to the mid-card, which is where they need to be right now. I mean, they've attacked the whole SmackDown the whole tag team division of SmackDown.
Okay. Like surprise attacks?
So, they've interrupted a tag team title match, and it was a really good tag team title match. The Street Profits were like, DIY, you can't do this yourself. Like, the problem's not going away. I'm kind of intrigued on where it's going. And the only reason why they weren't on TV is because Howdy was injured. Mm-hmm. I think they screwed it up last time, and I hope they don't this time.
Okay.
I mean, they've even made reference to Bray Wyatt, and it shows like half Bray Wyatt's face and half Bo Dallas's face. Yeah. And they, so I think they're on the right track with that. Now.
Yeah.
What we got coming up next? King of the Ring.
Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia. CM Punk, John Cena.
I almost thought they were going to do CM Punk John Cena yesterday, and I was not that upset about it.
You don't get that away on TV though.
But then also it also makes sense to do it on a pay-per-view. How do you think John Cena wins against CM Punk? What if? And I've thought this for a while, from the moment that he got the 17th champion. What if he does lose it?
He's going to eventually.
What if he does lose it before his time is up?
I mean, he might.
And then gains it again. Making it not 17, but 18.
I mean, that's something they would do.
What a better person to lose it to than CM Punk.
I don't know if he'll lose it to CM Punk, though.
I don't think so either. Like,
it's got to be...
I've told myself I got to stop booking with my heart.
It's got to be younger talent. It's got to be a younger talent. Like, I don't know, you're building up Braun Breaker. It's not going to be Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, you're building up Braun Breaker. You're building up, you're now building up Ron Killington.
I think he deserves a title run.
He might win the World Heavyweight Championship this year.
I would love to see that because
he's put in so much. You want to talk about? We were talking about a long time ago. We were talking about being relevant for the longest period of time.
Yeah,
that is our truth.
Yeah,
He's been around forever.
Yeah.
He went to TNA and won an NWA championship. He's been all over the world. But he hasn't done anything in the main company that even, like, it doesn't mean anything if you don't do anything in the WWE, apparently.
He deserves something great. And I think this persona change that he's done is perfect.
He did something John Cena didn't. He rebranded himself.
Thank you. And he doesn't even look like he's going to be a heel. He looks like he's going to be an anti-heel. He's
going to be anti-hero.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still rebranded and he changed his name.
Yeah.
Like, the truth will set you free, and he just cut off his dreads. Yeah. Like, imagine John Cena just shave his head. That's a whole rebrand right there.
Even though he had his head shaved for most of his career.
Like bald. Be like Stone Cold bald.
I don't think he pulled it off.
No, I don't think he could either. So we've seen the heel turn, right? Mm-hmm. John Cena's heel turn.
You can call it that.
I don't even think it's a heel turn at this point. And you've seen the mediocrity of the matches. And he's trying so hard to be a heel. It's just not resonating.
Yeah, it's not.
He's got 18 dates left.
Yes.
What would you like to see? I mean, we're already getting CM Punk and Cena in Saudi Arabia.
That's a great question. What would I want to see? Okay, as far as matches, or as far as from
both. Let's start with the matches, though.
The only one I really cared about was that one, the CM Punk one.
Orton and Cena.
Orton and Cena, we saw it.
It
disappointed.
Not as much as the Cody Cena match.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that one. Shit. Honestly, I think if I see...
But that just goes to show that Cena has to retire. He can't go anymore.
No. But I think that was a chemistry thing, not a Cena thing. Because Orton wasn't mad.
But Cena was talking about why he has to retire. Mm-hmm. And it's because his body's breaking down faster than usual people.
Yeah.
So he has to retire, and he's not able to put on quality matches anymore.
You know how I book this? I book him, whoever he loses it to. I book him having a really good match, doing his regular things that he always does. Him going for the AA. And when he puts the guy on his back, he falls to his knees. Because he literally can't hold it up anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
So he falls to his knees. Makes it look like a botch.
Yeah.
Gets frustrated at himself. Visually frustrated. Goes into that, if you want to call it, acting that he does. Goes for it again. And has some sort of self-realization that it's him wanting to be who he was, and this heel that he is being right now is not who he is.
Yeah.
But who he has to be to represent the hustle, loyalty, and respect that he wanted to this whole time, because hustle, loyalty, and respect to him means being the best all the time.
So it looks like the last match is going to be in his hometown.
Okay.
On a Saturday.
Cambridge, Massachusetts?
Yeah. West Newbury or whatever.
Oh, it was. Okay, West Newbury.
But it's going to be a Saturday night's main event. I think they might name it after Cena.
What would they call it?
Oh, I don't know. This is just...
Oh, okay, just the theory.
It's the working theory.
Look, you could tell a whole story with him.
But who?
Look, you asked me what I want to see. I want to see a good promo from John Cena.
I haven't seen any of that.
I haven't seen any good promo. And, yesterday...
The boy got cooked by Cody Rhodes.
I don't even call it that, because to get cooked, you have to reply back in a...
Well, he didn't even
Exactly.
reply.
Exactly. And that's why I don't call it getting cooked. What I want to see. Yesterday, CM Punk got in the ring. And he told him everything he needed to hear.
But they have chemistry, too.
And they have great chemistry. And what I wanted CM Punk to say is, that smirk on your face. That smirk on your face that you got right there is a smirk on your face knowing that I can bring out of you what you wanted to bring out of yourself. Yeah. But you don't have the will to do it anymore. So that's why you're going and doing all the cheap shit you're doing, and you are smiling Not because you like me, not because you want to face me, not because you want to put a show in Saudi Arabia, because deep down in your heart, you know that I am the one that can pull it out of you.
And it was a good idea. And Cody suffered because of it. Let's be real.
Yeah.
The match at WrestleMania with Cena and Cody suffered the most out of that because the match was terrible.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it, somebody else had to be champion when he won it. And it couldn't have been Cody. Mm-hmm. But Cody was so, over, and he still is.
Cody's another one who was in the Bullet Club. Sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry.
But, you think about it, who's he lose to? Or does Seth Rollins and his group does John Cena turn face again and then Seth cashes it on Cena? Because what was crazy is when Cena and Punk were in the ring, right? Seth came out with the briefcase. So are we foreshadowing?
Yeah.
What may happen?
I also would not be upset to see Ron Killings beat him. But in order to do that, you have to really, really build Ron Killings the next 6 months.
I mean, that's not hard. He's already so over. He's just got to have the matches to say, I deserve to be here.
No, yeah, exactly.
So who do you give him?
Who has been his iconic matches with? I thought yesterday the Miz was going to come out.
Really?
I thought it was going to be the Miz. I thought he was going to say some smart ass comment like saying something about the Miz, and then the Miz was going to come out.
Yeah.
You can't give it to the Miz, but the Miz is also another one of those guys who's kind of like R-Truth, that company guy through and through, and has been there.
The Miz has had titles. Truth hasn't.
I completely agree with that. We are all realistic. We're all realistic people, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like whenever The Miz had the WWE Championship, it didn't feel like it made Carter with the WWE Championship?
No.
To you, it felt like a top talent that had the WWE Championship.
The reason it had nothing to do with in-ring work.
Mm-hmm.
It had everything to do with his charisma.
Okay.
It had everything to do with he's a heel's heel. The Miz. The Miz is a good heel.
The Miz is a caricature.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't believe in caricatures. That's why I didn't believe in R-Truth. I believe in Ron Killings.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, R-Truth will never be top talent because he's a character. Ron Killings feels real, feels tangible.
Well, that's his real name.
I get it, but we're talking about the character of Ron Killings, right?
Yeah.
Like the things he said, and that's why I always believed in
Joe Henry.
But that's another one. Like he's a caricature. I don't see him ever being.
I think he could carry WWE.
Maybe so, but he won't be my champion. I could see Dolph Ziggler being the top guy back when Dolph Ziggler was. What was that?
And I'm gonna make you a shirt that says "Not my champion."
Yeah, not my champion. That's perfectly fine. And don't get me wrong, I love Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
well, we talked about him many times on and off the camera, but there are certain people that have tangibility to them. John Cena being one of them at a time, right? John Cena, babyface.
John Cena's all character.
Yeah, babyface, tangible. Heel, caricature. Yeah. And it's not because he can't be a good heel. It's because he is not a good heel right now. He could be a good heel.
They
Rebranded,
just didn't give him enough time.
Ron Killings feels tangible. The Miz feels like a character.
Well, yeah, you got to remember where Miz came from. He came from MTV. He was on MTV Cribs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He was on.
No, he was Real World.
Yeah, Real World. Anyway, so how would you? Who would you give?
I don't know.
Killings.
No, honestly, it wouldn't be him, but I wouldn't be upset if it was him, depending on how they build him up in the next couple of months. I think you said it. It looks like they're gonna give him Cody Rhodes again, and then Cody Rhodes is gonna be passed down.
Well,
I wouldn't be upset if you
have
give
to
him
have a better match though.
Oh, 100%. Like they
But
have
that's
to
the
refer
last
to,
match.
Yes. I wouldn't be upset if it was a Seth Rollins, a passing of the torch.
That's pretty much the same age though.
It's like I'm trying to think of like feuds that he's been in.
But it's got to be someone he has. It's got to be someone he has. It's got to be someone he has chemistry with, and I would like to see Seth Rollins and John Cena. They did fight for the United States Championship. Remember John Cena got involved.
I wouldn't be upset to see Finn Balor or Dom against him as a passing of the torch. Finn Balor's already on his way out. That's why I see more Dom. And John Cena has spoken very, very good things about Dom.
Yeah, but Dom's not. He's not top talent yet. He has.
Yeah, but you got to do something within the next 6 months.
They have to give. They have to make, kind of like how you had Braun Breaker chump. They have to give him a way to break into the world title picture.
I get it, but you can't compare Braun Breaker to Dom.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
They gave him a way into the Intercontinental title picture. Because he was... And you know who I want to see back? Ilya Dragunov.
Don't know.
Fantastic matches with Gunther at NXT.
Oh, okay.
I went back and watched some of them. But he was good until he was about to have some really good matches with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And he tore his ACL, I think. But
actually, you know what? I would really like it for it to be Dom. As much
I
as
don't see it feasible in the next 6 months.
I do. I see Dom losing the IC title to Finn Balor.
I don't even think that's gonna happen.
I can see him losing it at SummerSlam. Well, and if we're talking about this like storyline, right? This fantasy booking, I would see him losing it to Finn Balor at SummerSlam, and then Dom getting in John Cena's head week over week over week, or appearance after appearance, saying, "What the hell are you doing? Like, just give it up. Yeah. Give it up. You're nobody. Yeah. Like, this is like you're past your time, and you're pretending to be somebody who you're not. Like, call him out on
I think Dom's about to turn face though, too. They're about to do a face turn for Dom.
Well, what a better person to turn him face against is John Cena, who's a heel.
Is that good enough to be John Cena's last match, though? We're talking about chemistry. We don't know if they have chemistry.
From a passing of the torch perspective,
it has to be at least a decent match, or that's going to be the last thing ever, and that's going to want to make him come back and have one more match.
He'll never come back. He'll never come back. Unless you actually build it in a good way.
Yeah, it's got to make sense.
Yeah, and start it out with like a 5-minute match that gets interrupted and dequalified. Like it's a DQ, boom, 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 and you start testing out the waters, testing out the waters, testing out the waters, testing out the waters, until
has this.
Boom.
Is it memorable? Is there anything about this farewell tour? You know, it was supposed to be memorable. Besides, has it lived up to expectations?
Okay, that's a better question. Is it memorable? Yes. It's memorable because of how little it has met expectations.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm always going to remember John Cena's farewell tour as being mediocre.
It was mediocre.
It is mediocre. But I'll remember it because there's such high expectations of what you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Like, you thought this was going to be an NWA moment.
Yeah.
You thought that this was going to be the moment that everybody's been wanting a heel turn from John Cena.
You meant NWO.
Yeah. But the delivery has been underwhelming. I'm so tired of talking about John Cena's like farewell tour, and every time I watch him, I'm like,
just send him away already.
It's not even that. Like, I honestly keep wanting a good promo, wanting a good match,
but
wanting.
We know he can cook on the mic. We've seen
but
him
he
rap.
does it, but he hasn't.
We've seen him rap. Yeah, it's wild.
And there's still time. There's still time for like a rebranding. Like,
is it really though?
Look, I can see him coming out next week to no music, getting out there, cutting a promo, a good promo.
You didn't like his promo yesterday?
No. Cutting a good promo, either against CM Punk or against the crowd.
Yeah. And he's basically saying, hey, I mean, the fractured relationship with the fans doesn't work.
Yeah, look. This is how I would look, and this has to start Friday. Comes out to All Out Turn Off, John Cena, just the black and white lettering comes on in the Jumbotron. He comes out with the light, just there's a spotlight on him coming out. No gimmicks or nothing, all black.
Batista did that.
Let me finish.
And then didn't.
Let me finish. Comes out, stands in the middle of the ring, lets everybody do their thing, turns everything back on, saying something along the lines of, I have always wanted to do what you wanted me to do. I gave y'all the heel turn y'all always wanted. I wanted to come back and do things right for you guys. I wanted to do everything that y'all wanted me to. But y'all don't appreciate this. Y'all don't want any of this.
You know what's crazy?
Wait, I'm not done.
I blame Cody Rhodes. This is all Cody Rhodes' fault.
We'll talk about that later because I don't know what you're going with. You wanted all of this and I gave you all of it. And now all you do is boo and John Cena sucks. John Cena, let's go Cena. John Cena sucks. Y'all are just doing the exact same thing I was doing whenever I was a baby face. I give you what you want. You don't appreciate this. Take a couple days off the clock.
Shit. That would be interesting.
Step out, and as he steps out, music comes on, and it's a different song.
Yeah, that'd be.
And he goes to the back. Now you're good. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And you can see him really go savage. He doesn't have to have like amazing matches as far as like a go all out. He can really be a dick.
Yeah.
He can be a dipshit. He can be the guy you want him to be.
Yeah. Real quick, what I meant by the Cody Rhodes thing. So it was supposed to be Cody Rhodes that turned heel.
Okay.
But Cody didn't think it was right. That's why we got the John Cena heel turn.
Yeah. And now you're going to have the same thing. Well, I say that now, but Cody Rhodes is a good heel.
Cody Rhodes is a fantastic
Cody Rhodes is a better heel than he is a babyface. So I say that now, saying that the same thing that happened to John Cena is going to happen to Cody Rhodes, but I highly doubt it because Cody Rhodes has been a heel before. Yeah. Cody Rhodes is a good heel.
Well, Cena was too, just not a good one. Very, very, very beginning of his career.
Yeah, no, and because it was so early in his career, like he never got to develop that.
No.
Like,
but no, yeah, that's the reason why we got the crap we're getting right now.
Yeah,
it's Cody Rhodes' fault, guys.
I think with that being said, we can ask you guys to comment, to like, to subscribe.
Tell us what your favorite John Cena moment has been over the last 25 years.
And how you would book an actual heel turn. With that being said, peace.